Check, check, mic check, 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 mic check.
2018 Indian Chief.
So I'm working on a new camera setup, new mic and housing. Yesterday's filming didn't go so well, and I had no audio for the whole day because I filmed on the way to work and I filmed on the way home and got home and put the SD card in the laptop and nothing. So hopefully this goes a little better. But today is kind of a sad day for me. Today is the 1 week mark, and a couple things happen. So let's talk about the first one. First one is a week ago was my last day on the job. And when I say on the job, that has a little bit more meaning to it than just normal work for me. I've been a police officer for 20 years in one form or another. That's actual law enforcement. I'm not talking about community corrections or jail officer or anything like that. I'm talking about as a sworn police officer. And some of you didn't know I was a police officer. Some of you did. Very few of you did. If you were around last year and you watched Stevie TV, and he had an off topic where he had me come on, and it slipped out that I was a police officer. And it's not something that I talked about in my videos before, but I had started preparing a new playlist, a new content for this year, and it was gonna focus on my knowledge as a police officer. Specifically, I was going to talk about traffic law and writing indicators that police officers look for, and how to interact with a police officer and how they should interact with you. But now, I'm no longer a police officer. I retired a week ago. And so I don't know if I should continue to go ahead and make and publish those videos and content. I mean, I had it wrote out, the topics and how we're going to cover them. So I don't know if that's something I should continue to do. I guess one thing that I can feel free to cover in those now is, like I said, how officers should interact with you when you're stopped. And I can point out, in my opinions, what I think officers do wrong, without having to worry about ramifications from work. But yeah, the short version is I had a on-duty injury which resulted in a back surgery. That surgery was last year, 2018. And when I went for my 1 year post-op exam with the surgeon, he wasn't quite satisfied with where I was. on my recovery for a year out. And, you know, work didn't like the restrictions. And even though I'd been an officer for, you know, a long time with this department, you know, I started out on midnight patrols, patrol officer with them, and then took a transfer to the detective bureau, where I spent 5 years working in the special victims unit, investigating sex crimes, crimes against children, and felony domestic violence. And after that, I took a promotion as a sergeant and went back to patrol, where I worked midnights again. And I was a sergeant for 3.5 years on midnights. Spent the last 6 months on afternoons and dealing with getting clearance for the back injury. And ultimately it came down to the department and city not wanting to make accommodations so that I could go to a non-patrol position. Basically, the doctor said no more patrol work, and the city said if you can't work patrol, you can't be a cop. So here I am. So that was a week ago, was my last day. I've been kind of in a slump. That's why I haven't been making videos. And but out of that, a friend of mine said, hey, come apply and work for my company. Well, it's not his company. Work for the company he works for. It's a close, tight-knit company. It's have a, you know, like a family environment. And they had an opening. I applied for it. They had me come and hang out, kind of like a little job shadow for a couple days, a couple hours, you know, a few hours or a couple days. And about a week before my retirement, they offered me the job. And since I didn't have a job and my disability won't kick in for a couple months, I thought, man, that'd be an awesome place to work with my buddy. And so I took the job. So last Thursday I talked to my buddy, and you know, he was excited, I was excited. We're gonna start working together. You know, our desks would be next to each other. He would train me. You know, this is a job field that I've never been in, but you know, I've developed a passion for the brand of this company, and so we're ready to go. Then on Friday afternoon, I was scheduled to start Monday, which was Monday of this week. And on Friday afternoon, my buddy he died. He was killed. So, I mean, I've known him for about 1.5 years. And it's kind of tough. He died single vehicle motorcycle crash. And it was kind of a freak thing, and he's gone. Man, it sucks. He's about 10 years older than me, but man, he was a hell of a genuine guy. But today is a week since I left a job that I love to work. I love the guys that I worked with, but I didn't love the guys I worked for. I didn't like the politicalness of it all. But so where am I going? Where am I going to work, you might ask? Well, here it is.
If you're new to Motovlogs, hit the subscribe button and click the bell icon to become part of the community.